Hello and welcome to the TidBit. My name is Gary and this is
Aaron.
And this is
David.
And if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to drop them into talktotidbit@gmail.com. Moving on, we're going to do a third topic on this marathon
Session?
Yeah, the session that we're doing for this week. And we've already done mine and David's.
Yes.
And now we're going to go into the third one, the final one, the finale. How are you going to you're closing off the week. This is prime time. This is Friday. This is prime time, peak times.
Man, I thought it was fucking Thursday.
It is Thursday.
It's Thursday, never mind. Everything's been destroyed.
No, next week this is being uploaded. This is going to go off Friday, 8 p.m.
shit.
next week.
Oh.
That's the high point.
That's high
We're
point.
in
Friday-
the fucking future.
Friday and Saturday are the peak times that these are uploaded at.
I
What
get
you going to do?
pregnant next
What
week.
you going to talk about?
Wait, are we time traveling?
I could be pregnant next week, yeah.
You could.
I could have a family.
You do have a family.
It's us.
They love you.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's definitely not us.
No, that's not us.
So what you going to do? What you
So,
going to do?
Aaron, what is your
What you
topic for
going
the
to
day?
do when we listen to you?
Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. It becomes a listen to me because as has been brought to my attention, I don't bring a topic.
You do.
I
but
bring a subject of conversation that seems to
Come on,
spiral.
continue about your therapy
It's mad.
session.
This is your
Oh,
therapy.
therapy sessions.
This is Aaron's diary.
Right. Okay. I wanted to go into it. There was a few things I wanted to do this week. We'll focus on one because it managed to
Leave
have
you crying to the end.
It managed to get crying already. Well, but it's kept me up at night. And the one that we discussed earlier on,
Yes.
that seemed to be able to conjure some kind of conversation was introducing someone to something that you know that they will love or appreciate, but you can't sell it to them in a way that will underhype it because then they won't really give a shit, but you can't overhype it because then when you finally get them to either watch it, listen to it or play it, it is destroyed.
as good.
It won't live up to it, and you'll be so fucking excited to introduce someone to this thing, but it all falls apart then because whatever way you sold it to them was wrong. How do you do it?
Do you just tell them nothing about it, but then they may never watch it?
Right, see that's the point I want to bring forward, okay, which is I've been trying to get my mother to watch Fight Club for about 5-6 years, okay? But she is fully convinced it is just an underground fighting film that's just brutal and nothing to it, just constant fist fighting. I can't tell her it's not that.
Fight Club is not a fight film. Just
Yes,
saying.
that's it. I can't tell her it's not that because that just it ruins what it is and it defeats the purpose of seeing it. All that sort of stuff. Now recently I managed to get a friend of mine, I managed to get David's, not you, I managed to
The
get
other
David's to watch From Dusk Till Dawn for the first time. This is a film that I was introduced to through I wasn't told what it was at all.
Yeah.
It was, here's a film, Quentin Tarantino, George Clooney, somewhat of like a bit of a buddy gangster film, I'd say.
Yes.
For the majority of the
I
film.
haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure I've heard stuff about it. I
Yeah,
can't
where
remember.
they need to cross over the border. Essentially, all sorts of stuff's happened. One broke the other out of prison.
Okay.
Simple as cross the border. That's all they
We've
have to
done
do.
it. We all know what it's like.
Yeah,
Now it's
pretty
a movie.
much.
It's basically
Prison Break.
It's documentary.
Yes. About Gary's life. About Colum's life.
Introduction of TidBit.
And foot fetishes with
Came
Quentin
over from-
Tarantino.
Yeah, the border from North.
Yeah. So essentially, the plot is just given of go, here you are. They end up at some shitty motel place, and they end up.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, this is a spoiler, but this is a spoiler alert for you because I'm
Big
going to
spoiler.
very big spoiler alert.
Go for it.
Most people who've heard of this film know what happens in it, but it comes out of fucking nowhere. They take a van, okay, like a camper van, okay,
Yeah.
with a family in it, and they get them to drive them across the border, and it's kind of like not a weird bonding thing, but they have like some sort of respect for each other and have reached an agreement of what happens. Cross over the border, Clooney and Tarantino will be let go. That's it, fine, and the family go off their own way. Simple as. And they stop at a bar they were told to go to meet this other fucker who's gonna give the money, all this sort of shit, where the deal will be made. They go in there, everything's fine. Out comes like an exotic dancer, Salma Hayek in a fucking amazing role. What's his name? Not Trevino. What's his face? Jason.
Travolta? No.
Jason's in it.
Statham?
Jason, as in like Friday the 13th. Jason.
I don't know.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, one of them is in it anyway. Fucking great
Josh
cast.
Trevino.
No, I don't think so. Not sure. But anyway, get in there. Everything's fine. An hour and 5 minutes into this gangster movie, okay, where they're like fighting through like all their personal struggles and everything that's going on, and the fact that Tarantino is a bit of a crackpot, like he's proper schizophrenic. He ends up murdering a fucking woman for no reason. Just says, "Oh no, she was going to leave."
As you do.
as. He hears the daughter say to him, "Will you lick my pussy for me, please?" Okay, but she doesn't speak. But he talks to her about it later on, saying,
What age is his daughter?
Oh, she's legal. Let's just say that, okay? It's not like it's fucking creepy, but it's not so over the top creepy that you're like, that's fuck. It's just twisted. But he'll talk to her about it later on, going, hey, that thing you mentioned earlier on, if you still want me to do it, I will. That kind of thing.
Yes.
An hour and 5 minutes into it,
Yeah.
out come the vampires.
An hour and 5 minutes in this film. How long is this film?
About an hour and a half.
So about 25 minutes till the credits, and vampires just rock by.
And vampires. Everyone in this fucking in this bar is a vampire.
That sounds like what you call them? Cornetto trilogy. What are they called?
Oh, like
Cornetto
Shaun of the
trilogy.
Dead, Hot Fuzz and all that sort of shit. Yeah.
The end of the world. The
Yeah.
yeah. When
Yeah.
they're in the bar and
At
everyone's robots.
World's End.
At World's
At
End.
World's End, yeah.
Not to confuse
Directed
for...
by Edgar Wright.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah. Like spoiler for that, where they're in a bar and everyone's just a robot then or something. It's kind of similar to that.
Well, World's End kind of
Allude
builds
to
it.
it.
Yeah, that's right. There's something going on, definitely.
But that scene though in the bar.
In this,
yeah.
there's not. There's a whole film, and then they get to this, and the last part of this film is just fucking vampires, and it's proper batshit crazy. Like Tarantino is just slaughtered almost immediately.
Does it stay in the pub for the rest of the film or what?
Yeah, the rest of it
okay.
stays there, and it becomes like fucking catacombs and all makeshift like crosses, crossbows, all this sort of stuff, holy water. Because the guy who's in the camper van used to be a preacher, but he's
Yeah.
lost his faith. So it's like because of this, his faith is regained. So he's able to bless every fucking thing as a weapon.
Okay.
And it becomes this balls to the wall, insane action film for the last 25 minutes maybe.
And it was not beforehand.
Nothing. Watching David beside me, watching David see this,
Yeah.
and turning to him at this moment and just seeing him go, well, it's a dream sequence, obviously. And 5 minutes later, he's like, no, seriously, let it be a dream sequence.
It
And then
wasn't.
Coming out of it, he was talking about two completely different films. He goes, oh yeah, like, the normal stuff is really good and all. Like, he really fucking loved that film. And the vampire turn is like, that wasn't the same film after
That was a different
It was the
film.
same character development, but everyone is still in the same headspace of, Clooney's like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
There
so
are vampires. He goes,
They're aware of it.
yeah, and they're going, there's no such thing as vampires. Like, you're right, except there's a fucking vampire. So I believe it now. Simple as. And it's just, the rest of it just kind of all out balls to the wall action film, which it wasn't beforehand.
Yeah.
But that gave him this fucking experience that he didn't anticipate getting, which is Clooney Tarantino gangster film. Fine, we'll see how this goes. But you can't tell someone that they're going to enjoy it in that way.
You can't tell them
With-
exactly going to show up. Like,
Exactly, you can't tell them this is going to be like, you can't even say, oh, it's a great twist or anything. That's something my father
Yeah,
would do and
I
ruin
hate
every
that,
film
yeah.
on me. There's a great twist, even if there isn't a
Yeah,
twist.
you're
he
waiting
will tell
for
you,
it, yeah.
yes. But he was the type who would tell you there's a twist when there isn't. He's like, yeah, but that's the bit that surprises you, isn't
you
it?
just feel let down even if there isn't. You just feel let down.
Exactly. You're just waiting for it. It takes away from the aspect of everything else. So is there any way to kind of clue someone into a film, a game, a book, or even a fucking album without
Yeah, just
telling them all this?
Turn them on to something without ruining it for them.
Yeah, I suppose in like musicals a little easier. You could show them like a song off an album
Yeah.
and then get them involved in that way. But with a book, you can't be like, here, read this chapter or read the blurb, because if the blurb does something like that, it
Yeah,
will give
it
away
spoils
something
it,
about the plot. Yeah, so you have all this sort of stuff, but again, same with games and all that sort of shit then as well, whereby there could be a completely fucking new like gameplay aspect that is thrown in so far late in the game that will like make the game for someone, make or break it. But you can't tell them that because it might
Yeah.
fucking ruin it or something. Like, you know, what do you do in that situation? Because this isn't like a yes-no
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah.
as with my topics, apparently there aren't yes-no things.
There
Is there
isn't.
any way this is done?
Just a trail of thoughts.
Yeah, or have you ever had someone do this for you? Successfully?
I had that where my father did the exact same thing with the exact same movie.
Really?
My father did the same thing where my brother and I didn't know what to watch because at home we have like thousands of DVDs, and my father just said, "Oh, you don't know what to watch? Okay, watch this movie." And it was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
The same movie, and he said, "Watch that. It's a really cool movie. George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino,
Robert Rodriguez, by the way, directed.
And he just said, you know, you really enjoyed, Gary, you really enjoyed Kill Bill, and you've seen, like, some of his other movies. You might like, it's kind of, you know, just kind of like what you'd imagine, you know, two guys going over the...
What you'd imagine.
You know, it's just like, you know, two guys going over the border, and, you know, kind of like a movie, they're trying to outsmart the people after them. It's like, you know, watch it, you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, watch it, you haven't seen it before, it's a really good movie. And we're just like, okay, we'll watch it, because we were just young, and at that point we had a lot of time in our hands, we'd just watch anything. So we watched it, and then that part happened. And that's the moment when, like, I remember, like, at, like, halfway through what started to happen, when that did happen, my father like came in through the door and he was
Yeah.
just like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, you went, ah!
was waiting.
And I was just like, oh, it was amazing.
I can just imagine your dad outside the door for the first hour and 5 minutes, ready to run in.
Imagine sitting beside someone and just trying to have a straight face. Just,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
I did it like, I made that way through like her hyperbole. But basically my father just walked in at one point and was just like, yep, it happened, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like to walk in, look at them, nod, and go, anyway, and leave.
Yeah.
But that sort of thing is amazing. Like, if you remember the start of that
expect
film, the start of that film sets the tone as a very serious, intense film. It's just simply like in a, what would you call it, place? Sort of like a quick like gas station side of the road. Very simple. Sheriff walks in looking for the two fellas who've escaped. But it's a long, drawn out, very Tarantino-esque scene where it's just long, drawn out dialogue. Not that it's long takes or anything like that. Like,
Yeah,
not just long scene of dialogue and then just panders away, and then the intensity just kicks up a fucking notch, and it's all out gunfight.
Well, when
Nice.
we were like 14, 15, we actually started to get a little bored in the movie, and we thought it was like, and then that happened, and then over the next 2 days we watched the entire trilogy. My brother and I, we really said, okay, we have the other two movies. After we finished that, because we were about to turn that film, we weren't going to turn it off, but we were just like, this movie's okay.
Yeah.
And then that happened, and we were like, wow, we did not expect that. And then we watched the second and third one. Like, I think it was the second one that night, and then we watched the third one like the next day when we were in bed.
That reminds me, actually, did you finish Southpaw?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Still in 20 minutes into it.
Which?
Yeah, Southpaw.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes into it.
Okay.
Have you seen it, Gary?
No.
No. Okay.
You both have seen Gone Girl, haven't you?
Yes, yes. She's one of my.
No.
That author is great.
That's
no,
a great
the
film.
author. The author's phenomenal.
I've only heard things about like
Yeah.
people.
That is a great film that you should watch, and I don't want to overhype or underhype it.
It is a solid film.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's like the main film that this makes you think of. Try not to overhype it and not trying to undersell it. It's just such a great film.
My
Yeah.
father has done that when I was growing up because he really loves films, obviously, with his collection, and so he always does that with films that he tries to like surprise me.
Yeah.
So like when I was growing up, he showed me films like The Sixth Sense
Yeah.
and stuff like that, where it's like, these are movies that are known for this, but I would never have heard of them because I was so young. So
Yeah.
you get me to watch these films
Before
Usual
they ever-
Suspects. My mother did that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father like blew my goddamn mind when I was growing up with films like this. That he would just say, "We should watch this film next," and I would have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And then I would just love that shit, and I'd be like, "Oh my god!" I'd be like, "You, you."
There's so many things of that I wish I could see again for the first time.
Of course.
Know?
But then it makes me think as well, when you get this moment of like overwhelming emotion or like attachment to something.
You can't replicate it.
No, but it usually stems from something that you don't expect. You don't expect it to happen. Like you watch a film that you've heard very little about, or it just comes out and you go like when you're like me and you go spur of the moment to the cinema by yourself, and it's great. And
When you're a cool kid.
yeah, exactly. When you have friends everywhere, but you come out of this.
They're
film
all at home playing the Switches.
Jesus, all two of them. But you could see it's gone up by one. There you go, it's gone up by one. But you come out and everything's good, but you can't talk to anyone else about this film because if you want them to see it as well, how do you sell that to them? Because the reason you enjoyed it so much is that it came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and because of that, it triggered something with you. I don't know. I've always wondered how you kind of get someone into that.
I know. Like just ask them to trust your recommendation and just don't ask them.
I suppose,
don't ask
yeah.
anything
So what you
else.
do is you befriend them for years and build a level of trust, and then go, the day has come. We have to ask for that friend
I
favour.
think recommending a film is kind of like when you're recommending somebody a drink.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like being at a bar. If somebody's willing to just be like, because I do that when I'm at a bar where I get the first drink of whatever I want,
Yeah.
and the second one I ask somebody, what do you like? And then I do that. I think you have to get somebody to be willing to do it, and just kind of slightly just like, push that drink towards them and just say, hey, you should try this if they're looking for something.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay, I'll
But
try that.
at that stage, they're probably more susceptible to your suggestions because they have a bit of drink in them. And you're probably trying to
it's just
overhype
like-
your drink because
just
you're
as a
drunk on
metaphor.
already.
Just as a metaphor, and not, I'm not going to get people drunk to watch films, and that's the only reason they'll watch my
That
films.
works as well.
That I suggest to them. That's not what I'm saying. It's
So what you're saying is we should go for a drink.
yeah, dude. Let's go for a drink and maybe watch a movie after that. I'll decide.
Well, you see, my favourite film
Gone Girl.
is Short Term 12, okay?
Haven't even
Exactly,
heard
you
that.
see?
This is one of the films where if we were like to do like watch along stuff like that. You mentioned you wanted to do Short Term 12.
Yes.
You mentioned you wanted to do
Clockwork Orange, I'd say.
Yeah,
Was it?
you mentioned Clockwork Orange, and I mentioned I wanted to do Red Line.
Yes, yes. Now, see, the thing is, I'm second guessing the whole showing anyone else Short Term 12, because to me that is the perfect film. But again, I knew nothing about it going in. No one overhyped anything for me. It's what made me fall in love with Brie Larson and John Gallagher Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Even Rami Malek.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. All these people are in it, and I think it's a fucking phenomenal film. It made me read a movie script for the first time.
Oh, you read the whole script?
I
did
read
you?
the script then
Yeah.
afterwards because I just found it online. Read the script, love it. But I tried to get other people to watch it then as well, and then I realised I don't really want other people to do it because I love the fact that this is
Yours.
This is mine.
Yeah.
This is mine. Fucking incredible. And it led me on to everything else from John Gallagher Jr. Everything he's done, I love now. Brie Larson, I follow to the end of days, you know, the usual shit. Apart from Kong Skull Island. But yeah, I don't think I'd recommend that film to anyone anymore
No.
because in doing that, I'm building hype up to it. The only way that film worked for me was by having no
Yeah,
hype.
just seeing it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing with some films. One of my favourite horror films is, I can't remember the film, but it's basically about STDs. I can't remember what it's called.
It follows.
It Follows. That was a film that I had no hype for. I didn't
Yeah.
know what it was until one of my brother's friends came over and we watched, like the three of us watched films, and they just rented out films and just went, hey, let's watch this. And so we watched It Follows. Like, that was amazing.
That's how I experienced It Follows and
I
Babadook, that
think-
sort of stuff, yeah.
That actually...
Babadook was hyped up for me.
Oh, see, it wasn't for
I-
me, that's why I got to enjoy it.
I think It Follows was hyped up for me.
Really?
Because I was let down by it.
Yeah.
I thought it
It
was
didn't
very...
follow up to the... No, sorry, go
No,
on.
it didn't.
Um,
It was very slow, I thought. And I feel like... I think someone did tell me about it. And I did have high hopes for it.
See, I had the hype for Nightcrawler. I had years of people hyping up Nightcrawler for me. And what I did was, I waited years because it had
Yes.
been overblown. I waited until about a month ago.
Okay.
And I planned on seeing that when it came out.
Yeah.
And it was overhyped for me. I waited years.
And...
Watched Nightcrawler, forgetting everything that everyone said about it and went, fuck me, that was good.
Yes, it's an amazing film.
Absolutely. So that kind of thing.
Have you seen it?
I have watched Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I had no hype for that at all. And
Yeah,
I just heard that,
yeah.
hey, people have said that Jake Gyllenhaal's really good in this film. And I just after watching Whiplash, and I was like, you know, I'm kind of into this at the same film that I also didn't get a lot of hype for.
Was he in Whiplash?
No, I was
I
Miles
was
Teller.
very confused.
It was Miles
I,
Teller and
I,
J.K.
I watched
Simmons, yeah.
Whiplash, and at the time it was just like, oh, you know, all these films are like, you know, doing, you know,
Low budget kind of- yeah.
award scenes at this time, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what's something else is around at the same time it came out? And it's like, oh, Nightcrawler's there. I've heard Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal's good in this. I'll watch it, and it's like, oh, this is really good. And
He's also great in Prisoners, just saying.
Prisoners is...
Yes.
By that director is everything to me.
What's his name again?
It's like Denis. I always pronounce it Villeneuve, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Your man did like Sicario, Enemy.
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Villeneuve, thank you. Enemy is one of like those low budget like doppelganger films with
I'd say
Jake
that.
Gyllenhaal.
Sicario.
That has
yeah.
that has no budget. It's just strictly fucking
Yeah.
independent. If you want to like just watch a film and just kind of disappear into his mind, watch Enemy. Like the only reason I have no interest in Blade Runner. Only reason I want to watch Blade Runner is so I can
Yeah.
watch 2049 because of him. And he's now working on Dune. Dune, like the fucking
Dune?
book from decades ago. No, Dune.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was a book, and it was turned into a film, and it had Sting.
Oh my god.
It's known as like, it's considered like a perfect science fiction film.
It is. It's also referred to as, it's kind of contested and controversial, but it's referred to as Star Wars for adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should start with that.
Yes. That will explain it to me.
A film that I really like, and it's something that I don't like hyping on for people. I've watched the film about 4 times.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it with somebody else, and then I watched it again by myself, and then I watched it again, and then I watched it with Chris,
Yeah.
Ah, right.
who you know, and he said that's because Chris doesn't watch anime or animated
No.
stuff. He doesn't watch any of that stuff. He doesn't really know it. And he said like, no, I don't really watch this stuff, but you know, he said it might be a good film, so I'll watch it. So he came to my house and we watched it. And he said that film was just fantastic. It was amazing. He did not expect how much he'd enjoy this film. And then during the credits, he just thanked me for allowing him to watch it. He just went, "Thank you for making me watch that, because I'm glad I got to experience it." It's a really good film. It took about 7 years to make, and it's 100,000 hand-painted frames, hand-drawn
Okay.
frames. The detail in every single scene is immense to the point that every time I rewatch it, I'm always seeing little details I've never seen that makes the scenes even more impactful for me. So when I don't mind watching it again, simply because I know that I'll enjoy it again.
Yeah,
It's a really good. It took 7 years to make, and it shows in the level of detail that's in this. And the director is really happy when it's like, no, I'm going to finish it when it's finished,
the way it should be.
because it's just no, it will take this long to make, and it will take this long to make, and that's it.
What film in the last couple of years would you want someone to see? You don't want to hype it for them. You don't want to hype it. What film in the last couple of years would you be like, this is the one?
Couple of years.
Yeah, last say 4 years,
Last 4
4 or 5 years.
years.
Can you think of one you'd suggest?
This is like serious dead air when you like put up a
I know,
question
yeah.
like this out of nowhere. Because when I mentioned stuff off the top of my head,
3 I'd suggest are ones I already mentioned: Prisoners,
Yes, absolutely.
Gone Girl, and what was the one we mentioned a couple minutes ago?
Fight Club.
No,
Fight Club.
Prisoners, Gone Girl, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
Nightcrawler.
Southpaw.
Oh, not
Nightcrawler,
yeah.
yeah. I
Nightcrawler.
suggest those 3.
That Nightcrawler would be a film that I would suggest as well.
Yeah,
I'd
Prisoners
also-
would definitely be one I suggest.
Yeah.
Yes.
and Gone Girl as well. You need to see it. Not in an overhyped way, but you need to see it, Gary.
I'll probably go in like the same vein. And here's a film I would recommend to people.
Yeah.
Sword of the Stranger,
What's that? Oh, don't ruin it.
animated film.
Okay.
Overhype it, please.
Fantastic.
Best fucking film ever.
Some of the best fight choreography you'll ever see. Some of the best fight choreography you will ever
And best
see.
acting. And best people
It's okay.
in it.
It's just, especially like the final like fight. That thing is like amazing. You feel every single sword strike.
Yeah, you do.
It's a samurai film with it's so good, so good. It is anime, so anime. But the end of it, the final fight is very good, very well choreographed, done by Studio Bones, and they are the best at fight choreography. I'll not find a better studio that has an overall pedigree of fight choreography in animation than Studio Bones. Really good.
I'm trying to think of one.
Studio Ghibli.
Stop mentioning Studio Ghibli, the only animated studio.
Studio Fortnite. Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to
Fortnite film.
when this podcast like has like that pinnacle moment. You're like, what do we do next? And then we create like a battle royale between the 3 of us.
Yes.
We get a pool cue, break it in half, drop the 2 halves of the ground, and go, fuck it, now we'll fight it out.
Only one podcast will win.
Gary will use his chakra against us.
Right, so 100 podcasts are dropped into a platform, right?
In a fortnight.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
14 days.
That's my new, like, I'm just coming up with, like, new films that I think would be exciting. Right, imagine, right, RoboCop. Right?
That's it, RoboCop.
100 RoboCops have dropped onto an island. Okay? And they have to battle it out until there's one. RoboCop Battle Royale. Would you not play that? Would you not watch that?
Shit, you know what? I probably would fucking play
Yeah,
that.
I know.
You would fucking
It's
watch
fucking
it.
RoboCop, how would I not?
Would you play that? Imagine a RoboCop science fiction battle royale game. There is not one
I
like
think I
that.
have to.
There isn't one yet.
Yes. Fuck, we're not uploading this till we make it, right?
But can you imagine?
We don't have the rights, but yes.
Yes.
Can we just feature
Cop
sci-fi?
Robo.
Yeah. Imagine me.
Robo Garda.
100 predators. What?
Robo Garda. He's happening again. Aaron is having a bit of a breakdown again.
Dude, that shit is hilarious. You're convulsing.
I think Aaron is dying. He's grabbing his chest.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, calm down.
Just fucking picturing a RoboGuard, fucking Brendan Gleeson coming along. Alright, then, boy. Fucking on your bike. Oh, Jesus.
I think to go into like the overhyped stuff, the most overhyped thing I can think of is Avatar.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Because I remember.
No. Star Wars.
Fuck right.
Star Wars.
Okay, man, you're not wrong. But
That's
like,
one of the reasons I
he's
won't
not
watch it.
wrong.
he's not wrong, but he doesn't have a say in this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I won't watch it because it's so overhyped. I
I
know.
remember-
Oh, well, that's
But-
fair enough.
yeah.
Absolutely, that's okay. Because when it's pitched to you as like, here's this whole new, bold new world, it's fucking incredible.
People
Why
will
would you
say
jump
that
into
it's-
it?
I know, exactly.
Because a lot of people do say like I think it's the most like some people who we know would say like it's like the most important film that's like ever come out, which a lot of people will say because of science fiction and that genre.
Yeah.
And of course it was a big thing then, but it was more of a cult thing, and it brought into the mainstream. And now science fiction is a big thing, and we have Marvel, which is probably thanks to Star Wars.
Yeah, it's
It is probably thanks to that. At the same time, like
Also thanks to Shakespeare. Thanks to
you
everything.
can then also
Yes.
thanks to Shakespeare, and then thank to the Greeks, bringing it back to the originals, right?
Well, Julius.
Dude, Aeschylus. Anyway,
You're trying to listen more. Fuck.
anyway, if we're bringing it to like Star Wars and just like overhype, like
Yeah.
obviously we're going to talk about episode 1, 2, and 3. Like
Are we?
George Lucas is able to make those films because of the pedigree that was of the 4th and 6th chapters.
Yeah, no one fucking held them back.
So, and anyway, not going to the behind
we're
the
not.
scenes.
We're not.
We're going to
We're
make
not.
this
Of course
like an
not.
hour-long podcast.
See how this was one topic and it wasn't even a yes or no
I know.
question I posed. Look what it's become. Fuck's sake.
And so, just like
Only
that,
apologise.
somebody that thing was overhyped, and then the first one came out, and they're just like, okay, but it was a Star Wars film. Second one came out, they're like, yeah, that was okay, and people watched it because it was a Star Wars film. And the third one came out, I was like, it's actually all right. The third one was like, okay.
Depends on who you ask, especially if you ask a certain one of our friends. They'll say it's the worst thing ever.
Because this could be really obvious now who it is. If we keep
I like
mentioning-
the fucking third one. Everyone gets sucked in fucking.
I like the third one.
Yeah, I had fun with it. As a kid, that was the shit.
I'm still gonna say that's in like my top 5.
That
if not.
PS2 game is serious. Oh, that's
Dude, I
shit.
love playing dual modes. I love
Oh,
using
the
force
dual
powers.
shit. Yeah, my god. And you get like the fucking mirror version of each other. Just that shit was.
That's how OP Yoda was.
Oh, fuck.
That's still my favorite. Do you remember the side mission? You
Never mind
could play
Battlefront
Yoda?
2. This was the real Star Wars. Go on, sorry, what?
Yeah, that was. But in terms of like overhyped, Star Wars is incredibly overhyped.
Of course.
Yeah.
We know it's overhyped, and they'll get the sales. But then, of course, recently that maybe they won't get the sales. But
It's
and
implied. Jesus.
they put everything on hold.
Played by Kathleen Kennedy.
But like with like overhyped, Avatar was overhyped, and when
Yeah,
that
it
came
was.
out, it's still like an incredibly successful film. But I remember when it came out and everybody watched it, like, yeah, it looks pretty, but pretty much.
But its hype has driven it into the ground because do you really think you're going to get all 2? And then it was 3, and then it was okay. The year that the fucking second one was meant to come out after
Yeah.
its first delay, what did they do that year? They just announced there was going to be 4.
And they've written all 5 scripts,
They
haven't
said
they?
the only thing
Well,
that stopped.
four.
They said the only thing that stopped them from making the sequel to
technology?
Avatar was not just technology. They also said that we're going to make it. But then the tsunami happened in Japan, which is where we were going to film part of it.
Really?
So they said, yeah. They said. I
Okay.
remember at the time there was a news story saying they wanted to do a really like a deep place in the sea, in the ocean, and where that location was beside Japan, or at least beside like that. That was like islands. Close to there, and they said that okay, we were going to use this location, but because of the flooding, like obviously
We
you
can't.
can't use it. There's a lot of issues. You got to wait until that's sorted out. That's the last I heard about reports of goddamn Avatar.
How many years ago was
sequels.
that?
That was 2014.
All I know is that fucking somehow Sigourney Weaver is back and we're not allowed to question it. Everything's fine. But he needs look, he has enough experience with like water and making shit look deep. We've seen Titanic.
Water.
Water, fuck off you. Right? Fucking culture accent coming out in LA. But yeah. I don't know. That's pretty much the end of my discussion. See what it led to.
So, any thoughts on that topic?
I think all you have to do is just wait until somebody's willing and just say, hey, I saw this really cool movie and you should watch it. I don't know how else
Yeah.
to say something
You
without
have-
like ruining it.
You have to hope they just go by your suggestion.
Because it's like going to somebody on the street and just saying, hey, can you take a minute to talk about, like,
No.
it's very few people will want to, and I think movies are like that where you can't just push something onto somebody just like that. You can't just like stop them on the street. I think movies are suggestions for stuff. If somebody wants to look at something, they will. Just like this podcast. If somebody was saying like, what do you do in your spare time? I would say, I do this. At the moment, this is what I'm doing in my spare time. And, if you want to listen to it, listen to it. And that's how we get on people, because I've not pushed them onto it. I've just said, this is what I'm doing, and, do you want to listen to it? And that's how I've gotten people to listen to this. And in the same way, like a movie, you have to kind of wait until, like, they're ready to be like, oh, I'm not sure if I'll see that in cinema. But I saw it in cinema, I really enjoyed it. Maybe you should go see it as well. Like, I did that for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should go see
That
it.
was such a great film.
Really good film.
Yes, it was.
But I didn't, like, straight away just go, that's like my, if not, my favorite Marvel film, one of my favorite Marvel films or superhero films. Like, it's a really good film. It's just a good film.
Winter Soldier's better.
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. Are you serious?
Right,
I think Winter Soldier is hands down the best Marvel film.
Definitely,
yeah, it is insane.
But just like that, you can't just like throw it on.
Oh, I feel so fucking like everything I've been believing over these last few years has finally come to mean something.
I'm not crazy. It's
I
true.
say it to everyone. They're like, "Oh my god, Guardians is the greatest film."
Winter Soldier is amazing.
Winter Soldier, and they're all like, "Oh,
There you
Civil
go.
War." I'm like,
There,
no.
You finally found somebody to bond with.
Way.
That's what we're about.
Yay.
Put together.
Yeah, it's 3 of us in a room. Finally, 2 of us have been brought together. But yeah,
This shirt is getting real sweaty.
that's okay. I'll just unbutton mine a little bit more, Gary. That's it.
I'll put some more clothes on.
No feeling up. See, people can't see this shit.
No, they can't see it.
Thanks for listening to the TidBit cast. I've been David. This has been
Aaron.
And this has been
Gary.
Hope you have a good night or morning or evening or wherever you are. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Yeah,